In this video, we'll be taking a look at one NFL game happening on December 5th, 2022, and providing you with free a team pick and total pick for this game. So 2 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on this one NFL game after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. New Orleans Saints versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The New Orleans Saints are on the road Monday with a visit to Tampa, Florida and Raymond James Stadium to take on NFC South rival the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. New Orleans was defeated by the San Francisco 49ers 13-0 last Sunday and is scoring an average of only 10 points per game over the last 3 games, of which 2 were losses. Tampa Bay had a 2-game winning streak snapped last Sunday when losing to the Cleveland Browns 23-17. Even though Tampa Bay is below .500, the Buccaneers lead the NFC South by a half a game in a very mediocre division. Even though New Orleans currently falls 14th in the NFC standings due to tiebreakers, the Saints are still very much alive when it comes to playoffs because Tampa leads the NFC South with a 5-6 record. The Buccaneers defeated the Saints 20-10 back in Week 2, so this is pretty much a must-win situation for Dennis Allen's team. New Orleans leads the head-to-head series 39-23, but Tampa Bay's home win in Week 2 snapped the Saints' streak of 8 straight wins in the regular season. Now the Buccaneers aim for their first home win over the division rivals since Week 17 of the 2017 season. Current Saints backup quarterback Jameis Winston led Tampa to that win, beating Drew Brees and co 31-24 despite throwing 3 interceptions. The New Orleans injury list is extensive, with the most important including Marshawn Lattimore, Michael Thomas, Pete Werner, and Josh Andrews out or questionable. Tampa Bay also has a long list of injuries and includes Mike Edwards, Cam Gill, and several other players either questionable or probable. The New Orleans Saints are 4-8 this season after they lost to the San Francisco 49ers by a score of 13-0 in their last game. New Orleans was outgained by a total of 317-260 and turned the ball over 2 times in the loss. The New Orleans offense is averaging 21 points per game with 234.1 passing yards per game and 113.2 rushing yards per game. Andy Dalton has thrown for 2,023 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions for the Saints this season. Alvin Kamara has rushed for 524 yards and 1 touchdown, while Chris Olave has caught 56 passes for 822 yards and 3 scores for New Orleans. The New Orleans defense is giving up 23 points per game and 326.4 yards per game. New Orleans is trying to bounce back from a 13-0 loss out on the West Coast to San Francisco. The Saints were shut out for the first time since their regular season finale during the 2001 season, as the offense couldn't get anything going against the 49ers' top-ranked defense. That wasted another solid effort by New Orleans defense. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 5-6 this season after they lost to the Cleveland Browns in overtime by a score of 23-17 in their last game. Tampa Bay was outgained by a total of 367-325 and forced 1 turnover in the game. The Tampa Bay offense is averaging 18 points per game with 266.1 passing yards per game and 73 rushing yards per game. Tom Brady has thrown for 3,051 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions for the Buccaneers this season. Leonard Fournette has rushed for 462 yards and 3 touchdowns, while Mike Evans has caught 51 passes for 702 yards and 3 scores for Tampa Bay. The Tampa Bay defense is allowing 18.5 points per game and 315.2 yards per game. Tampa Bay also came up short on the road last week, falling 23-17 in overtime at Cleveland. The Buccaneers led 17-10 with a little more than 7 minutes left in the third quarter but didn't score again, punting on their next 4 possessions before the clock expired on the final one of regulation right after the Browns tied the game on a touchdown with 32 seconds remaining. Tampa had the ball twice in overtime but managed just 34 total yards as Cleveland put together a drive in the waning seconds, and Nick Chubb sealed the victory with a 3-yard touchdown. New Orleans is 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 games and 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 Monday games. The under is 4-1 in New Orleans' last 5 games. Tampa Bay is 1-5-1 against the spread in their last 7 home games and 0-8-1 against the spread in their last 9 games on grass. The under is 15-3 in Tampa Bay's last 18 games against the NFC. The under is 4-1 in these two teams' last 5 head-to-head meetings. The Saints are coming off a shutout loss, but that result is totally misleading, as the Saints moved the ball very well on a great 49ers defense, but couldn't punch it in multiple times. 2 of their drives ended in turnovers, one on a 4th down miss, and they missed a field goal as well. The Saints also ended another drive with a punt on the San Francisco 42 following a bogus incompletion reversal on a deep Chris Olave reception that would have put them inside the 10. They actually outgained the Niners 4.9 to 4.7 yards per play. Tampa Bay just isn't very good right now and probably can't gain margin if needed like it would be here. Since week 2, each of the Bucs' last 3 wins has come by 6 points or fewer and were coin flips at the end. The offense has been struggling, is 21st in EPA, and has done this against the 3rd easiest schedule of opposing defenses this season. Now the Bucs are without RT Tristan Wirfs, who is sidelined by a high ankle sprain. Wirfs has been an elite RT since he came into the league and ranks number 1 in PFF pass blocking grade among all NFL RTs this season. They have to create margin now against a Saints defense that owns Brady historically under coach Dennis Allen. I know everyone will discuss Andy Dalton's record in primetime, but Brady is not any better. In fact, he is just 2-14 against the spread in his last 16 primetime games. New Orleans and Tampa Bay are both having problems scoring touchdowns, as Tampa Bay is averaging 21 points per game and Tampa Bay is scoring an average of just 18 points per game. Tampa Bay's defense is much better, allowing an average of only 18.5 points per game, while New Orleans is allowing an average of 23 points per game. The Saints are allowing only 16 points per game in the last 5 contests, and New Orleans is in the top 12 of the NFL in total defense and first downs allowed. New Orleans also puts pressure on the quarterback with 33 sacks, number 8 in the NFL, and the Saints are in the top 10 in passing yards and passing touchdowns allowed to opponents. New Orleans is holding the opposition to a 62.2% completion rate and only 6.8 yards per pass attempt, and opponents are converting only 38.8% of 3rd down chances against the Saints. New Orleans is also elite in the red zone, with the Saints giving up a touchdown on only 47.1% of trips inside the 20-yard line, number 3 this season. Tampa Bay is favored in this matchup at home, but the Saints has a strong defense that will contain the passing game of Tom Brady. Tampa Bay's running game is very anemic, averaging just 73 yards per game, and even though Leonard Fournette will be back at running back, don't expect the Buccaneers to gain much on the ground. Tampa Bay has failed to cover the spread in 6 of its last 7 played at home and in 8 of its last 9 overall. I also like backing teams following a shutout loss. These teams come in the next week with extra motivation, and they are 26-11-3 against the spread dating back to 2015. I like the Saints here in any number over a field goal, so the New Orleans Saints to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. New Orleans comes into this game after losing 3 of their last 4 games and wasn't able to score any points against San Francisco in their last game. Tampa Bay has won 2 of their last 3 games, but really should have won their last game against Cleveland. Tampa Bay is scoring an average of 18 points per game and allowing an average of 18.5 points per game, while New Orleans scores an average of 21 points per game and allows an average of 23 points per game. The total has finished under in 4 of the last 5 played by New Orleans and in each of Tampa Bay's last 3, as well as in 6 of the Buccaneers' last 7. Both of these offenses have struggled. I don't trust either offense to move the ball down the field with any sort of consistency, and this may end up being one of those games where the offense is so bad that it makes the defense look better than it is. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.